This is how I made my first $100,000 by the age of 28 years old. 2 years ago, I was an unemployed day trader and I was basically losing money every single day. However, my life finally turned around when I was able to find a decent paying job and was able to earn money to save and invest. It took me 1.5 years of hard, painstaking work in order to get here, so these are my 3 best tips in order to hit this milestone. I've made every tip linked together so you'll be able to earn the most amount of money if you're able to use all 3 tips all together, so let's get into the video. So number 1 would be to have a high paying job. What I mean by that is basically just to have a decent paying job. Something in the ballpark of just earning about $4,000 to $5,000 is actually very decent as well. If you're able to earn more than that, fantastic. If not, that's probably something that you have to start off as well. Having a job is better than not having anything. Basically for me, 2 years ago, I was day trading and I was losing money in the stock market every single day. So how are you going to hit this 100k milestone if you are losing money every single day? I'm not even moving in the right direction, I'm moving in the opposite direction. So that is not the right way to go. And for you guys as well, if you want to start this off, you really need something to churn some money out for you so that you're able to save and invest this money. Otherwise, there's no need to even think about hitting this 100k. Everything we're just thinking about is basically just foofy clouds in the air and we don't even know what we are actually going towards. There's no point in trying to earn $100,000 or trying to strike rich and hit $100,000 if you don't have this basic foundation of having a decent paying job. For me as well, what I decided to do was that I decided to quit day trading and I went back to physiotherapy, and thankfully physio is still quite decent paying, so I was able to earn a good amount of money from it. And you basically cannot hope to invest and save your way to a big sum quickly if your earning is relatively low in that sense. But like I said before, I don't mean something that is super high paying. You just need a decent paying job and that's going to be good enough for you. I think it also falls back to some of the things that are really important, like education, having skills and having a career in that sense. Thankfully I was able to rely on the skills that I had from school, but the grind going back to work as a physio again after 2 years of not working as a physio was actually very tiring and very stressful. The first 1 year plus was very stressful for me because I had to work very hard every day and you just constantly have to grind, because when you're new at the job, you don't know much about anything, you really don't know how anything works, so you just have to put in extra hours and work to make sure that everything is done a little bit better and you improve yourself 1% every single day in order to make sure that you're doing your best at a job so that you can justify the amount of money that your boss is paying you or your clients are paying you in that sense. However, since I put in so much effort, I was able to thrive pretty well in the job itself, and I was able to set this strong foundation for me that I can start earning money so that I can start to save money and start to invest this money in order to hit that 100k milestone that everybody wants to hit on the internet, yeah? But as I'm saying about this point, you probably have this question in your mind: what if my job doesn't pay me a lot of money, or I cannot find any jobs that are also paying a lot of money as well? Then what do I do? That brings me to point number 2. Number 2 would be side hustles. It's very important, I feel, in this day or age in order to learn skills outside of your job and to maximize your time at home. We all have a lot of time that we have outside of work, usually at night, sometimes in the morning as well. Basically, you can scramble together anywhere between 2 to 4 hours of time every single day in order to use it towards something productive. I'm not saying that you cannot enjoy your time and you don't relax, don't have fun, don't go out and enjoy your friends, but you're using some of this time in order to earn some extra money so that at least you build this foundation strong. With that first $100,000, you can basically invest and make more money from it, or even start a business. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do. You're free to do. It basically gives you freedom to choose what are some of these things that you want to go for, and I think that's what's most important. Money is not the most important thing, but money does give you freedom in order to choose what you want to do. Even if the things that you're doing is basically the same thing, you still feel better because now you're making the choice and you're not being forced to do something just because you have to do it. Yeah, so I think just using a one weekend at home, you can even learn something as simple as video editing or Photoshop. 2-3 days, you'll probably be able to grasp the basics and you'll be able to start doing some things. I think a very good thing is if you're able to provide your services on things like Upwork, things on Fiverr. Those places are a little bit crowded, but if you want to be a bit more personalized, what you can do is that, let's say you want to do video editing, for example, you can find a YouTuber that you really like on YouTube itself, go through their videos and see if you can kind of just screen record their video and then edit it in a way that you think would be better and then send it to them. So in a way, you have already done the work for them and they'll be kind of happy to see your work in that sense, and you can also build your portfolio and practice in that sense. You probably will have this feeling at the beginning that you are not good enough, but don't let that stop you. Just keep going. You will be terrible at the beginning, much like me and everyone else who is starting out something new. It's perfectly normal. Don't let that stop you from becoming better in that sense. You have to overcome that initial perfectionism part at the beginning. So if you take video editing for example, I'm currently paying my editor almost 600 SGD to do my editing, to make these videos for you guys as well. That can bring very good income for you guys, don't you think? If you have like $600 every single month extra, that is very good money. And my channel is still small, that's why that's the amount that I'm paying my editors right now. But if you're doing it for YouTubers who have like 10,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, how much do you think they will be able to pay you for these skills? Probably a lot of money, right? Yeah, so there's value in learning high income skills in that sense, or high paying skills in that sense, where people are in demand of, but you basically have to do the work to find the skills that you want to learn, and then also find the people that you want to work for as well, because you'll be a freelancer and there won't be a job or agency that can connect you to these people. But you can try those things and see how those things work for you as well. What I do is that I make these YouTube videos. As of this time, these YouTube videos are still losing me money, but that's okay. Another side hustle that I do is also I do reselling of G-Shock watches. So if you've seen any of the videos that I have on YouTube, I'm selling all these G-Shock watches that I buy from Lazada, Carousel and stuff like that, and then I buy some of these custom bands from AliExpress. I customize them and then I sell them on Carousel and Facebook Marketplace to make a profit and to really flip things. So I guess flipping can also be a high income skill, or rather a side hustle that you can learn as well, because there are so many things to learn from it. You basically have to learn to be resourceful. You have to go and search for the watches, search for the bands, negotiate with all the suppliers, make sure that you are able to take decent photos that you can post on Carousel, Facebook Marketplace, and when people are, they talk to you and they want to negotiate with you as well, you need to have negotiation skills in order to negotiate the best price possible. You need to research in order to find the best prices possible as well, and all these things are all in this one category of reselling in that sense. And you learn so many things just from being able to resell, or rather have a side hustle. And most importantly, you can be just like me. You can document your side hustle over here on YouTube. You may not need all these fancy edits. Just start out something simple, do a side hustle that you can potentially earn you some income, and then document your journey on YouTube or anywhere else and just see where it leads you. Basically, you will want to have some other kind of income that's coming in other than your full-time job. Even though the full-time job is very good as a stable foundation, but it also makes you very reliant on one income, which means that if the income stops, you're going to be in very big trouble and your whole life will have a lot of problems, because once the income stops, you cannot function at all, and all these side incomes are the ones that can bring in money in order to tide you through a difficult time in that sense. Sometimes even better is that even if this side income becomes something even more important and even better for you, and then you can just quit your daytime job. Don't quote me on that. It's very dangerous and a very risky place to go. But if your side income does exceed your full-time job, then maybe you have the option to choose and reconsider what you want to do. Don't be too hasty with it. Just make sure that you can go through this decision-making process. All I want to do is to give you guys some options in order to see what's happening, and then you can really make your best decision in that sense. So if you've been through point number 1 and point number 2, now you will probably have either a decent paying job or a side hustle that can pay you some amount of money that you can, earn a little bit more every single month. You need to know how to utilize your money, otherwise it's going to be useless. If you earn $100,000 but you spend $100,000, you basically earn $0, right? Net profit at the end of the month is $0, so there's no point in that. Which brings me to point number 3, which is salary optimization. So first thing first is that when you get your salary, I want you to start dividing it to all these 5 different buckets in that sense. So savings will be 1, investments, bills, food and transport is 1 by itself, and lastly fun. So these are the 5 main buckets that you're going to have. And all these 5 buckets is basically how you're going to spend your money every single month. It's best to have a ballpark figure of how much you're spending for each and every bucket, but even better if you are specific with it, is you can really categorize how much you're spending on every bucket in that sense. That'll be the best. So the way I will usually do it is that I will probably work out the necessities first, which is the bills and food and transport. The necessities would probably be under the bills and the food and transport. So you have to know exactly how much money you're spending on your bills, your telephone bills, electricity bills, your home rental or whatever it is that you have to pay, and then you have your food and transport as well. We're not talking about those luxury spends, but basic everyday money that you need to spend on eating outside, or maybe just preparing your own food or whatever it is. These 3 things have to be sort of ironed out. After that, then you can kind of think about how much you need to save, how much you need to invest, and how much you want to spend on fun in that sense. Let's take myself for example. Let's let's say maybe I earn $8,000. What I will do is I will spend about $1,000 on food and transport. I'll spend $1,000 on bills and fun, and then I will be left with $6,000. So I can split that evenly between my savings and investments. So $3,000 to savings, $3,000 to investments. That's going to be pretty good as well. So if I save $6,000 every single month for savings and investments, it will take me at most 16 months in order to hit that $100,000. So you just have to follow this formula and you'll basically be guaranteed $100,000 in less than 2 years if you're earning this amount of money, yeah? But if you're earning less, then you can basically reduce the amount that you're saving and investing and increase the duration that you're doing so, which is more important because the side hustles that you have just now, if you're able to bring in more money, then it brings you closer and faster to your goal of hitting that $100,000 in that sense. But this would be the way I kind of portion it as well. So after you know all these things where you have a ballpark figure of what you are spending on all the necessities, it's important that the moment you get your salary every single month, you need to really take the savings and investment money, which means the $6,000 that I mentioned from before, or whatever amount of money that you have already calculated that you want to save and invest, that money has to disappear from your bank account, which means you have to, for me, what I do is I have a DBS multiplier account, which means a different sort of bank account. I will just automatically transfer my salary into that account so that it just disappears. I cannot even spend that money at all, and I kind of think about it as tax in that sense. And if you do this, you can just go about spending the rest of your money on your bills, your food and transport, and then maybe what's left you can spend on fun. Even if you don't spend on those things, then maybe they become your extra savings, which is even better in that sense. So this will single-handedly help you to hit your target if you can just do this one step and not touch your savings and your investment money. I'm not even taking into account whether your investments will even grow and really increase in profit in that sense, because some investments lose money, but it doesn't matter, right? I'm assuming that your investments are stable or they don't even grow, and this is the time that you will take, which is less than 2 years if you're able to save $6,000 a month, for example, right? But then if your investments grow and then you kind of hit that target even faster, then even better. Maybe you do it in less than 2 years. You do it a lot earlier than me when I hit it at my 28 years old in that sense. So hopefully these 3 tips have been helpful for you guys. If you've enjoyed this video on how I made my first $100,000, then you'll probably be interested on how I hit my first 100 subscribers on YouTube over here. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next few videos. Bye bye!